anyone else finding themselves saying, hello ego, a lot at the moment? Oh my goodness, how interesting is the collective consciousness on the planet right now? I am finding myself, and I am coaching so many people around the world right now, and literally every day they're saying, hello ego, hello ego. So today I decided to bring it real and onto this channel. Now, ego, oh my goodness, smash that like button for me if you are somebody who hears the word ego and it triggers the heck out of you. Let me know if you are feeling really like blown away by the amount of ego that is on the planet at the moment. It's very interesting. I've done a lot of video content recently talking about increasing the collective consciousness, and what appears to be shadowing us right at this precise moment in time is this old program of control and, you know, really not being able to surrender to what's actually taking place around the planet. And that is what I wanted to speak about on this video today. So for those of you that know me, you know and love me for my use of the word ego. You've probably been triggered by me in the past. You've probably been upset by me in the past. Well, today I want to share my views on ego, and I also want to talk about ego death as well, because these are two things that are very, very prevalent that are taking place on the planet right now. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Lucy Davies. I am an intuitive transformation coach, which basically broken down means I help people literally transform their whole life. I help them to gain a level of faith in themselves that they have never had before and get connected to their passion and their truth. Sound good, right? I'm very blessed to be linked with people all over the world on this mission. So please don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you want more content to help you evolve. Okay, so as always, I share from my perspective and my perspective only. Yes, I am spiritually guided, I'm a spiritual mentor, and I am channeled quite significantly. However, I always am sharing from my perspective. So if you do not like my perspective, you do not have to listen, you do not have to stay and watch this video. Please always use your discernment. Please always go and research everything that I talk about. It will make your life much more enriched. And also the life that we're living in right now, we do not need to be putting people on a pedestal. So from my heart to yours, please listen if it sounds good, listen some more. If it doesn't sound good, switch off, leave, you know, do what you need to do. If you want to ask a question, please feel free to ask a question. If you want to know where good resources are to go and research, please always ask the questions, guys, okay? I am here to support you by sharing my perspective. I'm not here to say my way is the right way or use the highway. I'm saying please just take this information, do what you need to do with it, and then go and research and figure out your own truth. That's what we're here to do. So let's talk about ego. As I said earlier, are you somebody that gets triggered by that word? I used to be. I used to get extremely triggered by the word ego. I don't have an ego, like I'm all right, like it's not me, it's them kind of thing. And actually what happened is I suffered what I call an ego death. And I'm going to share a little bit about that in a minute. But I want to step into ego first and foremost. I want to explain why I use ego all of the time, and I am looking to normalize the word, because actually we need an ego to survive. But more importantly than that, when we can recognize it's our ego that's piping up, we can actually transform our lives, which is why I use this word constantly. My members will comment and let you know, they'll be like, yeah, this is their favorite word. So from my perspective, ego means fear, worry, anger. You know, when your head kicks in and it says, you can't possibly do that. Maybe it's premised off of emotional trauma that's happened in your childhood, where your parents may have said, you're not good enough to do that, darling. You know, you're not quick enough to run that. You're not, whatever the story goes. You know, we've all suffered emotional trauma in our life. We've all got traumas that we are pulling through into our current life and our current circumstances based on many, many years ago. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about ego, that little voice. That little thing that says to you, you can't possibly do that, or you can't go there, or oh, that's not safe to do. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about ego. Now, it surfaces in people in many different ways. Some people get angry, some people get upset, some people scream, some people go introverted, some people go into victim mode. Now, I'm not saying any of these are right or wrong. What I'm saying is that this is my interpretation of what I see as ego. Now, like I said a short time ago, ego is really important. If you have a business or if you have got a job to do, you need your ego to get that done. You need your ego at times to keep you safe. However, our ego is in overdrive constantly right now because of the way that society has conditioned us to believe that we're not good enough, to believe that we're not okay, to believe that we have limitations. And this is why I love to speak on this subject. I love to trigger people into recognizing their healing. So when somebody says to me, I can't possibly do that, Lucy, there is just no way that I could do that, I know that that is their ego that is piping up saying, you're not going to be safe. If you do that, you're not going to be safe. Somebody is going to judge you. Somebody is going to give you a hard time. Somebody is going to, whatever we are relaying in our old system, in our old program. So if, for example, when you were 7 years of age, you spoke your truth in a manner that was a little bit excited and somebody said to you, oh, be quiet, nobody's going to listen to you. Without even recognizing, you may be running a program in the back of your mind that every single time somebody says to you, speak your truth, babe, you go, oh, I can't do that. Somebody's going to tell me off. I can't possibly do that because what if? That's what I'm talking about, your ego. That is the version of you that wants to keep you safe. Now, there is a lot of ego rising on the planet right now. Like I said at the beginning, there is a lot of control. There is a lot of old emotions that are starting to surface. Now, there is a couple of reasons for this. One is the divine feminine energy is increasing at such a rapid rate. People are starting to get uncomfortable and think, oh my God, and they're trying to hold on and cling on and control. I'm seeing it a lot with my members at the moment. I run something called Self-Love Club Membership Community, and basically we're on a 12-month journey together, and I'm seeing some of my members who have been amazing over the last few months literally clinging on for dear life right now because they're scared to relinquish their power. So, you know, we're witnessing this, and this is ego. This is your old systems that want to keep you safe. They want to make sure that you know your limitations, because what if somebody has a go at you? What if somebody says that you're not good enough? What if somebody says you're not speaking the truth? I had an interesting situation actually. I had a man reach out to me off the back of my interview with Charlie Ward last week, and he said to me, Lucy, I love what you're doing. However, you know, you're incorrect on the Schumann resonance. And you know, old Lucy from 7 years ago would have been kind of like, oh, who the hell do you think you are? Blah, 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 bleep, 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 probably. However, what I actually did was I just was like, oh my goodness, thank you. Thank you for showing me that I may be wrong on something. I would love to, you know, see the information, and this person provided information. And actually, there was discrepancies on both sides. So I was about an hour out of the time zone, but we were still very much in alignment with what I was talking about. However, what that conversation did was it brought up the truth. And then other people jumped in and they were like, oh my goodness, I'm going to find this out. I'm going to look into this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So we're collecting more information. However, the old Lucy of 7 years ago, like I say, my ego would have piped up. You know, I used to work on the trading floor. I had a huge ego. And guys, I want to be honest, all of us do. Even the most spiritual people on the planet. You know, I've got a couple of people that I look to as mentors that are arguing at the moment. And it's really quite interesting. Doesn't matter how far you are on this journey. This is surfacing for everybody, which is why I wanted to talk about it. Now, I have stepped into such a beautiful space of love, and everything that I do comes from a space of love. If somebody has a go at me, or if somebody challenges me, I don't see somebody challenging me having a go at me, by the way, but if somebody challenges me or has a go at me, I go out to them and I give love. Now, I tend to do things privately. If somebody comments on something or sends me a message quite nasty, I keep it behind the scenes and I have the conversation. I don't just ignore it, I deal with it. And then, I will deal with it openly if it needs to be dealt with openly, but that's it. And I'm doing it from a space of love. I love it when people come to me and they ask me questions. I love it when people ask me to source where I'm getting my information from. I love that. I'm like, okay, cool. They're asking the right questions. They are using their discernment. I believe that we need to go a little bit deeper on this, and that's amazing. Just be really mindful right now of the way that you are receiving. When you do anything, set an intention that you are putting it out there. Make sure that it's not your ego. You don't want validation. It's not about competition. It's not about the materialistic stuff that you can get from it, because again, that's very ego. If you are setting an intention to be a multimillionaire, make sure that there is a beautiful intention for the reason why you need to be a multimillionaire. Help step out of your head and into your heart space with this. Your head, your mind is very driven by your ego. I call my mind my ego. There has to be a balance between these two, but predominantly you need to come from your heart space. So like I say, 7 years ago, I was a totally different person. I was extremely uptight. I was working on the trading floor. I ended up physically burning out. I was so stressed. And I was so sick. I had disease riddling my body. And, I got to a point in my life where something had to give, and unfortunately it was my physical body. So when I burned out, I had to go on this huge journey of surrendering my ego. I had to step through an ego death. Okay, I had to say, I can't do this anymore. That's what I'm calling an ego death. Then a few years later than that, I'm dating one of the most incredible men on the planet. He's such a good friend of mine. He's just an amazing human being. Just we weren't right for each other. And basically, I went away to Florida. I was doing some work. And I had this huge epiphany that I had been emasculating this person, and I had no idea of it up until this point. And again, I had to suffer a huge ego death. I had to call him and I had to apologize, because I literally had no idea that up to this point I had been emasculating somebody, because, I was a successful female. I didn't need his money, and I was, I'm an independent woman, and I had that going on. Even 5 years ago. So I had to call him and I had to say to him, I am so sorry for everything that I've done. Now, when you recognize that you are living in a space of control, when you are recognizing that actually it's you that's causing the drama, or you that's causing the animosity, or you that is maybe being a little bit forthright or aggressive or something like that, when you recognize that and you step out of your head and you say, oh my goodness, this is my ego that is trying to control this situation. Actually, I need to step into my heart space and give love to this situation, because do you know what? I didn't know any better. I cannot judge myself, bearing in mind I was running a program that all men were not very nice people, based on a situation that happened to me when I was 8 years of age, based on a conversation I had at 8 years of age. I made that story up, that all men were nasty, that all men couldn't be trusted, that I needed to be an independent woman. So ego is a real thing right now. We are all having massive amounts of our healing coming to the surface. I am asking each and every one of you genuinely, from my heart to yours, to recognize when your ego is piping up. And when she or he is, acknowledge it. Hey babe, thank you for showing me that you care. Thank you for showing me that you really do care about me. However, I've got this. grab a journal. As you guys know, if you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know I'm a massive fan about journaling. Journal everything, write down how you're feeling, step into where your head is at with all of this stuff. Start tracking when you are seeing your ego pipe up, when you have to be right with your partner, when your children are misbehaving, like you will start to recognize that your ego is talking constantly. Constant. So I wanted to jump on today and speak about this. I am going to do another video about what you do and how you can manipulate your ego back and start to take a little bit of a check over your ego. But do recognise that ego at the moment is a huge thing. Do recognise at the moment our desire for control, our need to be right. Let me know if you've noticed anybody, like comment below please. Have you noticed anybody that just has to be right at the moment? They're not open to discussion. Like there is a lot of people out there like that at the moment as well, and these people need love. Like we're breaking down the systems. All of the ego that rises is showing us our healing. So if I'm triggering you massively watching this video, please know that it's your healing. Please know that everything that is coming up for you is showing you it's a gift to you. Oh my goodness, I need to go and figure out why I've always got to be right over my partner. Like, did something happen when I was younger that I witnessed or that I experienced that's now it's making me have to be right and I can't possibly be wrong? So raising the awareness of these situations are literally going to change everything for you. They're going to change your relationships. It's going to change the way that you interact with like your family. It's going to change the way you interact with yourself. Recognizing the ego is a good thing at times, and then understanding when it's not serving you is the first part of this journey. When we can actually awaken and open our eyes to what we're driving ourselves from, that's when the gold is going to start to happen. So who do you know at the moment that is really struggling with their ego? Is it you? Are you suffering many ego deaths at the moment? Are you like, whoa, who was that? Oh my goodness. Are you actually stepping through that process at the moment? Comment below. I would love to hear about it. Like I say, I'm going to do another video about how to, befriend your ego. But continually say to yourself, hello ego. That's why I've called this video that. Hello ego. Remember, when your ego is piping up, acknowledge it. Hello ego. Know that you can befriend your shadow, you can befriend your ego, and you can actually change your whole existence by doing it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you know anybody that needs to get to their truth, please tap them into the video that I'm sharing just above, and do remember to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you all in the next video.